Hey everyone, and welcome back to Infinite Godaikin, and just rolling along here shooting one more video before the kids get off and come home, and I have to put all the stuff away or else they'll be all over it and crush up all my boxes. But I am going to give you a little history on the Godaikins. This is an article that was written years ago by Ed Sanford of Robot Japan while doing an interview with Super7, and it is called Lore of the Godaikin, and I'm just going to read a little piece of it to give you the beginning history of the Godaikins and where they started from. And yes, the front page has our most famous one, Go Lion, not Voltron, Go Lion. Go Lion came from Godaikin, came from Japan. We would not have Voltron without this line first appearing. So let's get started here. So here is the entire Godaikin collection laid out. I still have their Japanese counterparts set in here just because I don't have the official Godaikin boxes, but this is the line. Again, I am missing Tetsujin 28, Combatra, and Voltes 5 because I had to sell those guys like I've kind of let you know in previous videos. But this is the Godaikin collection all together except for those three. So the history is, not many people are aware that the die-cast metal robots were sold in America around 1982. Fewer still recognize that there were Transformers before Transformers. But collectors and Generation X kids may be able to dredge up instant memories of sparkling Ultra Robot collection of 10. At that time, we were introduced to an innovative series of super robots, Godaikin. Godaikin represents one of the most ambitious metal meshing, missile-launching robot projects in U.S. history. We gained exposure to such names as Guardian, Tetsujin 28, God Sigma, and Go Lion, which would later become Voltron. One could argue that the inception of Godaikin robots began in a trendy New York shop called Forbidden Planet. As it would turn out, the store owner, Mike Luckman, happened upon some of the most sought-after toys of the 20th century. His Manhattan, New York store began distributing Japanese toys once it opened in 1981. Through a fortunate set of events, he helped embolden Bandai to bring us the Kin of Gods, or the Kids of Gods. And in Japanese, that is Godaikin. Godaikin. Or at least they made the name out of Kin of Gods, Godaikin. Which brought us the innovative series of super robots. We used to buy Japanese robots distributed in California, and we used to sell tons of them, recalled Luckman. And what happened one day, people from Bandai came in. They were in the country for some reason, and they could not believe we were selling all of these toys to adults, because in Japan they sell them to kids. Long story short, they agreed to supply me directly from Japan, Luckman says. We used to sell huge amounts of toys called machine robos, or GoBots, and Bandai actually offered us an exclusive on machine robos, GoBots, in the United States. Obviously, the quantity was so high we never did it, which was crazy because Tonka did, and it ended up being the biggest selling toy line for 3 years. We weren't set up to handle something like that in 1983. So the Godaikins arrived in the United States via Popy. Popy was a toy line, or a derivative toy line of Bandai, and a lot of people know the Popy symbol from the Jumbo Machinders, or Shogun Warriors, and the Shogun Warrior line comes from the Popy line, which that line also included Combatra and Daimos, so that's where they first came from. But then when this happened with Forbidden Planet and some of the other shops like Kimono My House here on the West Coast, they brought in the same robots that were being sold in Japan and reboxed them all into these American boxes that we know of today, the Godaikins, and created the Godaikin line for all of us. So the original 10 are Tetsujin 28, God Sigma, Goggle 5, Go Lion, Daltonius, Guardian, Sun Vulcan, and then of course I am also missing Combatra and Voltes 5. So we have the original 10 robots that gave us the beginnings of all of this and brought these robots to the United States. So that was the first series. The second series of Godaikins is made up of Dynaman, Bioman, Daimos, Daitetsujin, Daidajin, Leopardon, Abega, and included the Bio Dragon carrier, and at the very end, the Dai Jupiter carrier. And so those carriers were designed to carry Bioman and Dynaman respectively, and gave them like ships, kind of like the GoBot Command Center or something like that, or the Transformers cities. See, they were trying to play competition with Transformers and GoBots with these, so they had to do some things and bring over some stuff in order to keep that competition up. And they really did that in Series 3. Series 3, they created what's called the Godaikin Forces, like right here on Google Caesar. So the Godaikin Forces was created, and it basically created a team. They had a comic book, still no TV shows, not many commercials, but they had a team, and the team comprised of Goggle Caesar, Shuttle Base, Machine Man, Vavalos, Machine Dolphin, and De Leon. And the leader, which kind of like is their Optimus Prime, Dan Kuga, or Dan Cougar. And then they also reboxed a couple of the original Godaikins in a Godaikin Force box, like Guardian there. Guardian originally came in a blue box, like Sun Vulcan here, but that's my second version Guardian box, which I actually kind of like that box for Guardian. And then they did Godmars. Godmars came in a silver box, just like that, a Godaikin Forces box. And also Laseron. Laseron is a third series. And then they also did a reboxing of Goggle 5. Goggle 5 comes in a gold box for Series 3. And then Combatra. Combatra came in a gold box for Series 3. So those were kind of the revamp robots, or rebox. They didn't really do anything different with them. They just put them in new boxes. Also at the same time, Godaikin Forces were created in 1984. World Event Productions got the rights to Go Lion, or as we all know, Voltron, the Lion Voltron. And so World Event Productions took over Go Lion. It was supposed to be Daltonius, but in a mistake, which I explained in my Daltonius video, they got Go Lion instead, and it went on to become Voltron 3, and they no longer created the Go Lion. They actually stopped making the Go Lion in 1983, so only 2 years. 1982, 1983 was the Go Lion made in this box, and then it was shifted over to the Voltron 3 box with no weapons and no stuff. So the only way you can get cool stuff for your Voltron was either find a Go Lion or buy a Lion Bot and get all the stuff out of the Lion Bot. So that is the entire collection of the Godaikin minus Tetsujin, Combatter, and Voltes 5. I wish I had them here, but I don't. But I will get them one of these days. But this is all of them. The rarest robots of all, it is not Tetsujin 28. It is not Voltes 5. A lot of people assume that because they're very high priced, but they're not that rare. The rarest of all of the Godaikins or all of the super robots is Goggle Caesar, Shuttle Base, the two of the carriers, Machine Man, and De Leon. And those are very, very rare because they were only brought over in the last few months of 1985. And 1985 is when they discontinued the Godaikins. And so Shuttle Base, De Leon, Machine Man, and Goggle Caesar came over in only the last few months. And then Bandai cut off the Godaikin line, shut it down. And that was the end of it. That was the end of those guys. And so to find a Goggle Caesar, Shuttle Base, or a De Leon or a Machine Man in a Godaikin box is near impossible because not many of them even made it to the West, to the United States, and especially, you know, to the East Coast. So the rarity of those is pretty high, especially if you can find a mint example. And, you know, I mean, out of them, at least my Machine Man, it's kind of it's a pretty museum quality piece. All of my robots are very, very nice. But that's the Godaikin set. Okay, guys. If you have any questions or any comments, leave them in below. Don't forget to like, support good old Infinite Godaikin here. Don't forget to visit my eBay site, 99 Infinity. Maybe buy some display signs or some shirts, some swag, and I shall see you all later. All right, have a good week.